Hey everyone, my name is Chloe, and today I'm here to do my second half of September wrap up. So, if you haven't seen the first half of September, I will link it down below. But this is going to be pretty quick because it's going to be the stats for the month, and then a lot of the books I read were for the Buzzwordathon, Books and Lala Buzzwordathon yearly challenge vlogs that I did this month. So, let's just get into it. So, in the second half of September, from the 16th to the 30th, I read 10 books. The average page length was 261 pages, so definitely my middle grade kind of skews that. I read 2,613 pages, which is 174 pages a day. Thank you, audiobooks. I read 7 novels, 2 chapter books, and 1 novella. 8 adult, 2 middle grade. I read 5 from Libby, 2 off my shelf, 2 from Hoopla, and 1 from the library. 7 audiobooks and 3 physical. I read no new releases and 10 backlists. I read 4 contemporary, 2 women's fiction, 2 nonfiction, 1 mystery thriller, and 1 historical. So that is kind of the stats of the month. And then as far as star ratings, I had 1 DNF, which was a DNF of like a 4+ star book on Goodreads. So definitely a minority opinion. 2 3 stars, 1 3.5, 5 4 stars, 1 4.5, and 1 5 star. So I had the highest of the high and the lowest of the low this second half of the month, and my average was 3.9 stars. So that is a really great month. So let's just get into the books. I'm going to go in the order that I read them. For the ones that are in the Buzzwordathon vlog, I'm just going to link it down below. I'm not going to spend much time talking about it just because I don't want to be redundant. If you watch those vlogs, I don't want you to have to hear about it over and over and over. So the first one is Gooney Greene by Lowry. This is my 5 star. This is a middle grade that I read with my daughter about a young girl named Gooney Greene who is just eccentric. She is different than everybody else, and she loves that about herself, and she has so much confidence. She's the new kid. She walks into the classroom and everybody else is like drawn to her and wants to hear her stories and wants to know all about her, and I just love that confidence and that just pride in being different. I loved it. And there's more books. I immediately got on Thrift Books and ordered all of them. So we will be reading Gooney soon. Next is The Friendship List by Susan Mallery. So I gave, this is a part of the first Buzzwordathon blog, and I gave this 3 stars. This is about 2 older women who are both at different points in their life. One is a widow who is hanging out at this like retirement home. All her friends are octogenarians, and she's just like kind of stuck in life. And then the other is a young mom who has a 17-year-old who's about to go to college, and he doesn't want to leave for college because he thinks his mom has no life without him. So they make sort of like bucket lists for each other to get them out of their rut and to get them a life. I didn't like the emphasis on physical relationships and like intimacy as a means of having a life. So this book was just okay for me. Then I read The Christmas Box by Richard Paul Evans, also a part of that vlog. I gave it 3.5 stars. This is the novella. It is just a quick book about comparing an earthly parent's love for their child to the love that God has for us. And so it was sweet. I read it in the middle of the night one night, and it's not going to be super memorable for me, but there is 3 books in that series, so I will definitely continue. Next is The Night the Lights Went Out by Karen White. And this is my DNF, you guys. It was a slow Southern contemporary, I would say. And it was just so slow, and I was not caring about any of the characters. I tried twice. I had the audiobook, and I got 5 hours in, and then I got 3 hours in, and I was like, I just can't do this. So, DNF that one. Then I read The NICU Mama's Survival Guide by Heather Evans. So in our hospital, there is like a support group for NICU moms and dads and caregivers, I guess. And so when you have a baby in the NICU, you get this little bag of stuff that has like a water bottle, a little cooler thing, and then this book is a part of it. And it's written by Heather Evans, is a pelvic floor therapist, and so it was a unique perspective. But I feel like it was more just like it was more just general things about the postpartum period and how that looks for people. And then it would say like, you can do these exercises while standing by your baby's isolette or whatever. So it wasn't that helpful as a 3rd-time mom. Next is Worthy by Catherine Ryan Hyde, again, part of the Buzzwordathon vlogs. I gave that 4 stars, and this is about a dog, basically, who brings 2 people together who share a past, and it's so sweet. Very Catherine Ryan Hyde typical. She wrote Pay It Forward, kind of just those inspiring contemporary books. Loved it. Next is Karen's School Picture by Anna and Martin. This is in the Babysitter's Club Little Sisters books. And Karen is the main character in the series, and she gets glasses, and she's really like self-conscious about it, especially right before picture day. And so it's her finding her confidence. And there's also a lot of bullying in this and figuring out how to be the bigger person. So I liked it, 4 stars. Then, while we were watching Downton Abbey by Wendy Wax, I gave 4 stars. This is kind of women's fiction at its finest. This is a part of the Buzzwordathon vlogs, and this is about 4 women, I think, that get together and become kind of unlikely friends because their like luxury apartment complex is hosting a watch party for Downton Abbey. So it's really fun. If I was a big fan of Downton Abbey, I might like it a little bit more, but overall it was good. Then I read First to Die by James Patterson, which is the first in the Women's Murder Club series. This is one of his older books, and this was the last of the Buzzwordathon vlogs. I gave it 4.5 stars. I love old school James Patterson. I don't know why. I don't normally like detective thrillers or anything like that, but I love this. And the Women's Murder Club is a detective, a coroner, a medical examiner, a reporter, and a defense attorney. And so the 4 of them in this book, they establish their friendship and become a team to solve a murder. And the murder itself was twisty, and I wasn't quite sure what was going on until the very end. And the friendship and female empowerment from these 4, I loved it. And then my only complaint about that one is that it was a little too steamy. There was some romance that I didn't feel necessary. So that's a common complaint of mine. And then last was Homeschool Bravely by Jamie Erickson. I gave this one 4 stars. This is about just all the worries that homeschool parents typically have about are you doing the right thing or not? And just about trusting your gut and trusting that God has led you to do this thing because you can and because it's what's best for your kids. I thought the reason I gave this 4 instead of 5 is because I thought this was a little public school bashy, and I don't think that is the case at all. I think every way of educating your child is great, and it's just what's best for your family. So I don't think one is better than the other. I think it's just what fits best for your family. So I didn't like that, but I did there were a lot of really practical tips about what to do with little siblings when you're trying to homeschool, or different ways of approaching different subjects and things. And so I ordered a copy to have on my shelves because I think it's going to be really helpful. So that is everything I read in the second half of September. Let me know if you have read any of these books. I will link both of those Buzzwordathon vlogs down below, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.